So it's 2020 and we really need a do-over. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Like many of you, I haven't necessarily performed at my best for the past few months, and I've had lazy days, unmotivated ruts, and severe social media binges. But I've decided to start over, reset. In this video, I want to show you how I prepared myself and created a simple reset plan in the span of about 4 days, because small time frames are inspiring. They really highlight the importance of daily habits. Let me show you how. You probably saw this coming, but setting up the space is a very important first step. Cleaning your space and getting things in order is not only visually pleasing and motivating, but it is also a relatively simple task, considering you do it semi-regularly. Since I was visiting my parents' home for the last month, I wanted to use the opportunity of coming back to completely refresh my space and set it up to achieve my goals. After setting up my bedroom and unpacking my bags, I noticed that being in Bulgaria for a month with only 12 pieces of clothing was actually really simple. So I decided to take a few pieces out of my wardrobe for donation. For the reset to work, my goal with this was really environment design. From James Clear's blog, the truth is that a large portion of your actions every day are simple responses to the environment design around you. The forms you are mailed, the food on your kitchen counter, the items on your desk at work. They all impact your behavior in one way or another. Essentially, set up your space in a way that will boost your positive habits and abolish your negative habits. For me, that meant a focus on healthy eating, no to-dos lying around, and clean, focusing, distraction-free surfaces. So I decluttered our post together with Marius. I got rid of any old medicine that we had, and I emptied the fridge of all the processed and sugary foods that were inside. They didn't even go bad in a month, so that should say enough. On the next day, I enjoyed a final sugary goodness, a delicious birthday cake sent by my dear friend Caroline. Thank you! After that, we restocked the fridge with some healthy fruits and vegetables. And that night, after cleaning, I prepared a nutritious breakfast for the next day so that we could have an easy and healthy choice to go for. Done. Next, we have to get in the mindset. For some people, they might want to go straight into that work, but long term, and if you want to do this the right way, you do need to take a bit of time to get in the right mindset. For this part, I went on a trip with my friends to a demonstration for the rights of animals. It is always really rewarding to get out of your own head for a moment and do something for others. And I met some wonderful people. Celine and Lisa were there from quite far away, and I said to tell you hello. Of course, time with friends is really important, but you also need time for yourself alone. And that's why I decided to spend the next afternoon entirely by myself. The environment design I set up was already doing its job, as it made healthy choices much more obvious and easy to make for me. I enjoyed some healthy cooking and a sip of green tea. After that, I planned a trip outside for a short hike and some meditation. Of course, mindfulness is not something that we only practice in a chair with some person whispering strange things in our ear. In fact, the easiest way to experience mindfulness is to trust your senses and give in to them. And also, you get better every time you try. I really need to do it more often, but that's part of the plan, which is the final step. Formulate the plan. To formulate the plan, I used my simple habit planning technique consisting of 3 steps. First, I began my plan by writing down the 3 major goals that I want to focus on: my work, my health, and my productivity. After that, I set a timer for 20 minutes to think about how I want to progress in these 3 areas: and I wrote everything down that came to my mind. If you want to try this, I recommend setting up your steps as an actual habits that you can do regularly until you feel that you are in the place where you would like to be. And this can be in the shape of committing to something like eating more whole foods, and in the shape of uncommitting from something like I don't want to eat any more sugar. So for example, these two habits actually create a synergy, whereas one supports the other. And if you combine such habits with environment design, this is going to be infinitely easier for you to achieve. So try to look for synergies. Once I had the habits written down, I had to filter them. For a reset, it is important to start small. Anything that is not essential to your goal should not make it into your first habit list. So ask yourself, is this essential? And take out any habits that don't fit the bill. For any essential ones, it is best to write down how often you want to perform them on a weekly basis. And don't go overboard, try to be realistic. If you would like to try this for yourself, I actually created a habit tracking and planning method that is very minimalistic. I'm going to link it down in the description, and it will take you through this whole process step by step, as well as it will be available as a print. So if you want to put it on your wall to motivate you every day, you can do that as well, and just check off any habits that you have completed. Now there's only one thing that we have to talk about. How long do we want this habit plan to be for? And since this is a reset, I want to start small, and I advise you to start small if you try this. I think a 2-week habit plan would be optimal, where at the end of 2 weeks, you see if you want to do this for a month or for 60 days, for 90 days. Here, a great reminder, the year is actually ending in 90 days. Well, depending on when you're watching this, maybe it's not, but you can create this for yourself artificially by telling yourself some kind of deadline until Easter, until the middle of summer, until the end of the year, to create this like scarcity mindset in your head, which means you feel like there is not enough time, so you're gonna wanna do that. So actually Cal Newport talks about this in his book, Deep Work. He really uses the scarcity mindset in his favor in that way. So plan some kind of deadline and think, of course, after the initial period, I'm gonna do this and this and this by that time. As a final touch, remember to write down any beginner stats and take any before photos that you might think about. There is nothing more motivating than getting started and seeing your progress. That's why we started with cleaning, after all. And I encourage you, if you do this, to tell someone else for that accountability. I will link some videos about setting goals and essentialism in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and wear socks if it's cold. Bye!